Gage Thomas, Morning Blend. Here we go. Me and Tony. We got a few things to talk about. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about a very spiritual film that's coming out this weekend. Even though he doesn't have it up, I'm surprised him. Adam Britt, I don't know if you got the chance to see it. I Can Only Imagine 2. It's after the breakout success of the song, I Can Only Imagine, that Mercy Me's Bart Millard is living with the dream of sold out arenas and a devoted fan base and a thriving career. However, that doesn't happen. Just the opposite happens. And not only that, he has a problem with his kids. He's got 5 kids. The oldest one is having problems keeping up with his blood sugar. He's diabetic, diabetes. What do you call it? Number one? Yes, diabetes number
One.
one. And that's what this movie is about. It's about faith, God, and family. And I thought it was pretty good. Tony, did you get a chance to see it?
I did not see this one, no.
Well, I'll be. So anyway, I'm doing this. I'm doing a review on this, and I gotta say, it sounds. It stars Bart Millard, Andrew Irwin, Sidney Bond, Kevin Downs. I thought it was a very good, moving film, very spiritual, very family, and I think the one message that it does get across is that no matter what happens in your life, you're not alone. You are never alone. God is always with you. I thought it was very good. I'm going to have to give it 3.5, maybe 4 out of 5. So now let's move on to the bad movie, How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell. I'm going to let Tony take over on this one.
So you've been thrown out from your family. There's 7 relatives standing in the way for you from becoming an absolute one of the richest people in the world, a billionaire. And how would you handle that situation? And Glenn Powell, his charisma is on full display in this film, but it just leaves you wanting more. The killing isn't really inventive enough. I love Margaret Qualley, but again, she can play unhinged and psychotic in a very special way, better than most can for sure. But it's not anything we haven't seen her do before. There's some fun cameos. Topher Grace has a wild moment. Ed Harris is in there. But to me, this felt like a film that played it safe, never took any risks, and I feel like it was changed during the filmmaking process, whether it was shooting or pre-production, because there are definitely some ways this goes that I think that they took the safer route as opposed to, taking a true risk.
You know what? I kind of like the movie. I like the idea of what he was trying to do and trying to make happen. And it was very interesting when he got towards the end with that scene with Ed Harris, as you said, making a cameo in it. The question is, what would you have done? You got to check that scene out and let us know what you would have done. You know what? It was very interesting too because he never checked on all his relatives and their background because the girl was right. Wait a minute, he drowns and he was a Harvard swimmer, winning championships. Someone right. So he kind of gave himself away on that. How to Make a Killing. Again, we're talking about Glenn Powell, and I kind of like it. I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to do what Tony may do, which is 3.5 out of this one. Tony, what would you give it?
I'm between a 3 and 3.5. I like the film. I wanted to love it. There's a lot there that really could have put it over the top for me. It just, like I said, it felt safe. It takes, it goes into power dynamics and wealth struggle, and it doesn't get preachy. It doesn't become another kill the rich satire for the most part. But it just seems like they took the safer option. I don't know if Glenn Powell didn't want to ruin his image, but there's some ways they could have taken this that would have been more shocking and surprising. And it's probably the least A24 film A24 has ever released.
There you got that right. Okay, the Oscars are happening in a few weeks, and we've been talking about the Oscars. Today, we're going to be talking about performance by an actress in a supporting role. And here are the nominees: Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Abadadar, I can't even say it right, Lielas, okay, Inga Lilias, Sentimental Value. I'm going to leave it at that. Amy Madigan, Weapons. There she goes again. Wunmi Masaku, Sinners, and Tiana Taylor, One Battle After Another. Tony, out of all the 5, woo, man, I tell you what, I'm gonna have to say between Wumi, Tiana, and of course Amy. I think those are the top ones. What do you think?
So I think Tiana is probably going to be your likely winner here, deservedly so. But there's one name that has really affected me, and I know a lot of people haven't seen this film, but Inga Ibsdotter, her performance in Sentimental Value really is something that will elicit quite the emotional response. But I think Tiana Taylor will win this here. I think it's very deserved, and I hope she gets that moment in the spotlight for sure.
Yeah, I would have to say between her, Amy, and Wunmi, you're right. Tiana is definitely the front runner on this. But don't be surprised if Wunmi does win this. This is going to be very interesting. And don't forget, Amy won in Critics' Choice, didn't she?
She
Yes,
did.
she did. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to say Tiana along with Tony, but watch out. Wunmi may sneak in there. All right, that's it, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.